Welcome to the Edge Outdoors, where in this episode, we're going to be getting ready for deer season.
All right, welcome to the Edge Outdoors as Delana opened up the show for us tonight. You can see in the background, Delana wanted to get a little Christmas festive. We are getting into the holiday season. She's got some garland around the mossy oak sign tonight. What we're going to do tonight, Delana, we are going to talk about getting ready for deer season. Iowa's regular gun 1 opens up this Saturday, and we will be taking to the field. And Delana is up to bat this weekend because, as you've seen on the video, I shot my nice buck back on November 2nd. Was able to harvest a doe last weekend, and we're going to really put some focus on Delana this weekend. As you watched back during muzzleloader season, how did muzzleloader season go? As they watched on there, you passed some deer.
There was, I think, only that 4-pointer, but it looked like an 8-pointer, but it was a 4.
Yeah.
And I was kind of disappointed because it was just doe parade. Welcome to the doe parade.
So that leads me to this. What's your what is your goal for the gun season coming up here in Iowa?
At least get an 8-pointer. I don't really want a 7-pointer. I'm just targeting 8-pointers and that 1 10-pointer that's still out there.
Because last year you harvested your 5-pointer like we talked about in a previous sit down, much like this one today. But with all that being said, we'll be taking to the field on Saturday morning and then hunting through the weekend as we need to. And we're going to kind of go over tonight, we're going to go over what kind of gear we're going to take to the woods with us this weekend to not only keep myself warm, but Junior over here, as you can see, the wind could probably blow her away right now. So we've got to take extra precautions to keep her warm. It's not terribly cold here in Iowa yet, but it's going to be cold Saturday morning. We're going to be in the 20s, I believe, which isn't terribly cold for Iowa, and we are in a blind, but with that being said, on the blind, it is a soft-sided blind. Even though it's a tower blind, it's a soft-sided blind. So, Delana, we're going to go over a few things here. Step number 1 is how we're going to dress.
Very, very warmly.
What kind of clothes we got there? Is that, what brand is that?
Nomad.
And what Delana is holding there is the Nomad base layer, the Durawool. It is super warm. We're both going to be decked out in that for our base layer. And then we're going to layer up with Nomad clothing from there.
And the pants.
Speaking of clothing, Delana, what do you got on your head? What color is that?
Neon orange.
Blaze orange, as we're so lovingly call it as deer hunters. Delana, you can go ahead and set that down. So we will also be taking the safe route, having our blaze orange on, being legal here in the state of Iowa. Now, Delana, these are going to be your best friend this weekend.
I love these things.
What do you got there?
They are hot hands that are, I forgot how to say it. Camouflage.
Camouflage? You forgot how to say camouflage? What kind of camouflage?
Mossy oak?
Well, of course they're mossy oak. For some reason, those mossy oak ones are just warmer. I don't know what it is. I think it's just that they look good, they blend in, and they are just warmer in my pocket.
Yeah, so...
One other step here to staying warm.
These are my best friends. My besties.
How many are you taking with you?
5.
5?
1 here, 1 here, 1 here, 1 here, and 1 in my hand.
What about in your boots?
Oh.
1 in each boot?
Yeah, like 4 in each boot.
Yeah, better keep your feet warm too.
Yeah. Gotta get those fluffy
one thing
socks.
that I don't even know if Delana knows, she probably saw it sitting here, but we were able to purchase a little while ago on Facebook Marketplace. I had one before, but we upgraded a little bit.
Fishing one.
Yeah, it is the ice fishing one, actually, that we'll use for ice fishing as well. But we upgraded a little bit. I found one on Marketplace for a very good price. We'll be taking some propane bottles and this with us in the blind. Like I said, it's a soft-sided blind, but much like ice fishing, we can keep a little heat in there if she gets cold. It's not going to be terribly, terribly bad, but we want to take every step we can to make it comfortable and for our time on the stand there. Delana, what do you got here?
I grew milkweed. Well, I didn't plant it, but
where'd you grow it? You tended it all year.
Yeah, I've been waiting all year for these, and I picked them like a month ago. But they're out in the front of our house, and I didn't find it. Mom actually found it. But there were milkweed plants, and I was so happy, so I harvested it.
And what do we use that milkweed for?
I love milkweed. I literally can just throw it out the blind, and there it goes in the wind. It shows where the wind is going.
And
it will be your best friend.
And what does the wind do? Does it carry our scent?
Yes. So we need to know where our scent is going, so the deer don't go human.
You got that right. You got that right for sure. We will definitely be using the milkweed this weekend. Delana's got plenty of stock of it. We're going to have that to know which way the wind's blowing. But Delana, what is your weapon of choice?
The 350 Legend.
Delana will be using this weekend in Iowa. Now, the last couple years they passed, you can use straight wall cartridge rifles. Our weapon of choice is the 350 Legend. And before I hand this to you, Delana, I made sure it is unloaded.
This is my best friend.
Delana loves her Winchester XPR in 350 Legend. We went out last weekend, didn't we?
Mm-hmm.
Actually, the weekend before. But what did we do, Delana?
We shot the 350 Legend.
And did we get it all dialed in?
Yeah. At first, I was like scared to shoot it because of the muzzle loader. But actually, I just shot it. I was like, oh, that's pretty smooth.
So yeah, speaking of what Delana just said, it is very light recoil. It is great for youth getting out there with deer hunting. Very low recoil, easy to shoot. This thing is very accurate, very safe rifle, bolt action, and this package was the Winchester XPR with the Vortex Crossfire 2 3x9x40 or to 40 scope. Zooms right in on the target. Delana was able to take her first deer with this last year, dropped it right in its tracks. We're hoping to do much of the same.
Like a sack of potatoes.
Like a sack of potatoes. You got that right. We're hoping to be able to do the same thing this weekend with it and harvest her second ever deer. But check them out, Winchester XPR Combo. You can look up that on Google. Lots of places carry these. They are a fantastic weapon, super accurate, and
carry them at shields.
Very light recoil. So we'll slide that back into the case. Speaking of her gun, Delana's ammo of choice this weekend and what she took her deer with last year, and actually I took my shotgun deer with it, regular gun 1 deer in Iowa. 350 Legend PowerPoint by Winchester. See that right there? And we prefer the 180 grain, and we prefer a high shoulder shot. Put them right down. Don't have to worry about blood trails. Like Delana said, how'd that go? Sack of potatoes?
Comes down like a sack of potatoes.
So that'll lead us into, and the final thing this evening, as we get ready for Iowa's regular gun 1. Delana, what's that shed off of?
The 10.
That's the 10 that she's after. But one thing we didn't show you guys the last time we had to sit down. This is also a buck we're after in there. Delana, I'll take that one from you if you want to hold this one up and show them. Now this deer, we were able to find both sheds last year. I found one. The landowner's wife found another. And this deer has made a monster jump this year. His sheds don't even do justice to what he's done this year. So that's a couple of the deer Delana will be targeting. And thank you this evening for tuning in and checking out our video as we get ready for Iowa's regular gun season 1. And Delana, you gonna mess it up this time or not? As we leave the video until the next episode,
get outdoors.
You were gonna say stay outdoors, didn't you?
Stay outdoors.
It's get outdoors.
Yes.
Thanks for tuning in.